Sports Talk. Let's go. What's up, everyone? It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, and welcome to Week 10 NFL Matchups Edition. Man, tonight we got lots to talk about as usual, man. I got to give you guys my reaction to the Jayden Daniels injury that took place on Sunday. It might sound crazy, but just bear with me, all right? And of course, I got to talk about the Buffalo Bills as well as the Kansas City Chiefs, that matchup. The Bills, they did what they were supposed to do. You win at home, but does it mean now they are the go-to favorites in the AFC? And does this make this rivalry a little bit more spicier? So I'll let you guys in on my thoughts on that. And of course, it would not be NFL matchups if I did not break down every game this week, every 14 of them, including the teams and their keys to victory and going over the betting lines for each game for Week 10 in National Football League. So if you love football, you love the NFL, you are in the right spot. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is NFL Matchups with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go.
We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing, man? It's Week 10 and NFL matchups on a Tuesday. We had lots to break down. If you're watching live right now, before I move forward, man, hey, make sure you stream me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you get social media. I'm probably going to be on there right now. And I'm talking to my TikTok folks right now because I'm streaming live on TikTok as well. Check me out. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And also head over to the Grid Network. We have a list or a plethora of other content sports creators that are doing their thing. So make sure you check out the Grid Network and check all of us out there if you want your sports fix. But we are talking about NFL football tonight, and you are in the right spot for NFL matchups. I am your host, Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, and we're just kind of motoring through, man. We got my boy CJ. Chris Johnson is in the comments, man. Good shout out to him. 100, yeah. Don't say anything about those damn Eagles. I'll tell you that right now. Don't say anything about those Eagles. But hey, like I said at the top of the show before, man, listen. Jayden Daniels. What a crazy scenario that was. I mean, 38-7 at the time. The Commanders weren't winning that game. They weren't winning that game. Seattle pretty much put BTA, belt to ass, on them, and Jayden Daniels was still out there. Now, it wasn't anything structurally wrong. I guess they did an x-ray. I think the MRI came back negative. It is, I will say, good news though. The injury did not partake, or I can't even talk. The injury that he sustained is not his throwing arm. So that's good. But when you watch that clip, you're like, oof, what the hell happened, man? And a lot of people, went straight to Twitter, X, social media, and are like, what the hell was he in there for? I mean, and I was thinking the same thing too. I was having a conversation with my cousin. We were texting back and forth, and I was like, I don't get it, man. Like, what was Dan Quinn doing? That offense right there, it could be fireable, right? And because, they're not having a great season. And of course, Jayden Daniels is your prized quarterback. He is your face of your franchise. So I kind of let that sink in a little bit. And then I started realizing too, on the other note, Seattle had Sam Darnold in the game still, and they were up 38-7. And I started thinking back. I started going back in my catalog of football games because I've been watching football pretty much all my entire life, man. I mean, at least from the mid 90s. I'm 41 years old. So I went back and I started thinking, I'm like, this is a common occurrence in the NFL. I don't, for other sports, they pull guys out. But in the NFL, it just seems that they don't pull quarterbacks. It could be 100-0. It didn't matter. Now, I'm not saying this is right. I think it's an old adage that I think probably needs to be corrected because obviously we saw what happened. Jayden Daniels is out for the foreseeable future. But Dan Quinn, got up there on the mic and the podium and said it's 100% on me. And it is because he's the head coach. But we see this a lot. And the optics weren't the greatest because not only did it happen to Jayden Daniels, it's happened to a franchise where they've been down this road before, a la RG3, right? And a plethora of other players have been injured in a kind of gruesome fashion in FedEx Field. You go back to Alex Smith, Joe Burrow blew out, I think, his knee there as well. A couple other guys. And then obviously now Jayden Daniels. How could I forget Jalen Hurts almost got killed by the bleachers when he was leaving one of those games. Excuse me. Excuse me. But so the optics did not look great. It's your face of your franchise. They're not having a great season. The defense is shot. Offense pretty much lackluster. No Terry McLaurin. Deebo Samuel signing not looking good. And a lot of their defenders are hurt too. And it kind of just put a cherry on top of their season. I mean, it's crazy because they went 12-5 last year, which surprised a lot of people, including myself. End up making the NFC Conference Championship game, upset the top-seeded Detroit Lions. I believe they were the top seed, yeah. And now Jayden Daniels gets his elbow or arm just bent backwards, and there you have it. So optics didn't look great. Impact on the locker room. I mean, listen, these guys are competitors. I don't think any of these guys would have wanted to come out the game anyway. But that's why you have coaches. That's why you have medical professionals. If the guy is hurt, you pull him out. The coaches, again, going back to this old adage in the NFL, they don't pull players, especially quarterbacks, even in blowouts. Like I said, even Sam Darnold was still playing in the game. But you have to you have to take care of your assets. And Jayden Daniels is the face of this franchise. He is the biggest asset that they have right now. And now he's out. Like who wants to watch the Commanders now? Really? Not me. They were so fun to watch last year. Even going into this year, you're like, okay, Jayden Daniels, we want to see him. But now it's like now he's not even there. So I guess to me the biggest takeaway, this was a catastrophic injury. Luckily, it could have been worse. It could have been his throwing arm. He could have lost an arm. It did not look good. It did not look good. So, but this season's over anyway. I mean, it was already teetering. The way the Seattle came into to Washington and just destroyed them, and now your best player arguably is gone. And this team is just heading down a road that they're gonna have to be mentally tough. Now they're pros. They'll try to bounce back, but at the end of the day, this team is cooked. This team is definitely cooked, and I don't see anything bright happening for them other than them just trying to get through the rest of the back nine of the season and and finish out. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is it crazy? Should he have been pulled out? Obviously he should have, right? But do you guys also agree though that the NFL has this like weird rule that like they don't pull quarterbacks or they don't pull guys even in blowout situations? And if you're watching on TikTok, man, check me out here, or you can comment down there too below. I'm talking to both screens right now, as you can see. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to do my best here. I'm trying to get it how I live it, man. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to get as many followers, subscribers as I can. So make sure you guys do both. Like and subscribe, share, comment, whatever you got to do. But let me know. All right. Let's talk about the Bills. This is a big one because I've seen a lot of people on social media talking about, oh, well, yeah, look, you guys are ready to crown the Chiefs and they're back. And now they're not even in the playoffs if the playoffs started today. Simmer down. All right. Great win by the Buffalo Bills. Great win by Josh Allen, right? This is what I'm not surprised that they won. If you are surprised that the Buffalo Bills won a regular season game against Kansas City in Buffalo, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you because that was to be expected, in my opinion. The game was close. It wasn't like the Buffalo Bills just came in there and just like barn burned them out of there. All right. So don't give me this, oh, well, see now, look now, because I get it. A lot of people have Chief fatigue, right? They've been back-to-back Super Bowls, back-to-back Super Bowls. Didn't win the last one, obviously. They have a little rough stretch to begin the season. They get some guys back. They go on a little roll. Now everyone's like, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl, including myself. And then they run into the Bills and they lose the game. But let's just pull up the stats here. Let's break this down as if we were a forensic scientist doing an autopsy on a body, right? So total yards, 397 Bills, 324 Chiefs. Okay, pretty close there. Passing yards, 268 Bills, 231 Chiefs. Again, close. Rushing yards, 129 Bills, 93 yards Chiefs. The biggest, though, this is a huge stat. I think this is where the game was won and lost right here. Third down efficiency. Bills, 61% on third down, whereas the Chiefs, 41%. I think that's pretty low for them. But anything above 50% is pretty good. And obviously the Bills were were well above that. Time of possession, 34 minutes to 25 minutes and 1 turnover, right? As far as stats are concerned, I mean, Josh Allen, 268, 2 touchdowns, 8 carries, 52 rushing yards himself, and 1 rushing touchdown, QBR rating of 120.5. So very efficient afternoon or evening for Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, not bad. I believe he threw 44%, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 interception. He was sacked twice, and he was pressured on 33% of dropbacks, which I'll get into in a second, because I think that was also crucial to why their third down efficiency was pretty low as well, too. James Cook, pretty nice turnout, 16 carries, 71 yards, 4 receptions, 36 yards. Stephon Diggs, 6 catches, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown. But in the end, the reason why the Bills won, right? They were sharp on third down. Again, 61% overall. You can't beat that with a bat. Like that's exceptional. Okay. And then the defense, Joey Bosa getting after Patrick Mahomes. It feels like every time he dropped back, Joey Bosa was around here somewhere. Now, a lot of people, including myself, thought when Bosa went to Buffalo, we're kind of like, well, you know, he's going to get hurt, and he might very well be. There's still a lot of games left, right? But there's no doubt that the guy can get after it, and he did that. He showed up. He showed his weight and goal in on Sunday. And I mean, Patrick Mahomes was being stifled all afternoon. He couldn't really get into a good flow. And that's part of the reason why they won. And they controlled the tempo. They had the time of possession. So this was a very efficient game by the Buffalo Bills. But still, the game was still close, 28-21 in the waning moments. The Chiefs could have won this game, right? So I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to just run through the AFC. But to me, this game doesn't mean anything than the fact that they just won a regular season game, because this has happened before, right? Where it's going to matter, like it does for any other quarterback living in the AFC, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all these other guys that are really good. You will not get full on credit if you don't beat Kansas City and Mahomes in the playoffs. Simple as that. End of discussion. And I don't want to hear anything about it, because that's the reality, folks. All right. If they don't beat Kansas City later on, because they're going to run into each other again, there's no doubt in my mind. And it could be back in Buffalo. And we've been there before. If they don't get it done in the postseason, this regular season game doesn't matter. And if people say, oh, this is a rivalry. Yeah. Yes and no. Right. But it's just as much as a rivalry as Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And obviously I don't have the stat in front of me, but correct me if I'm wrong, Tom Brady really just has beaten Peyton Manning, not all of their matches, but a good majority of them. So, and a rivalry constitutes both sides winning. And to me, yes, they've beaten the Chiefs in the regular season, but to me, the rivalry is really forged in the postseason, and they haven't been able to do that, right? They have not been able to do that. So, good little win, but people out there on social media, they're like just jumping to conclusions. They're like, oh my God, this is it. This is it, guys. The Chiefs are done. Man, you can never count these dudes out, because they were just left for dead not that long ago. And then they lose one game to a really good team on the road by a touchdown. You can't count them out. In my opinion, the road still goes through Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe not in actual Kansas City, but it does go through the Chiefs. What up, Ben? He says, no worries. Chiefs will beat the Bills in the playoffs again if they play each other again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bills, Ben says Bills versus Chiefs. I wouldn't say a rivalry. I would say more of a Mahomes rivalry than anything. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. What do you guys think on TikTok, man? Is this a real rivalry or not? And what do you guys think as well here streaming live? So I'll leave it at that. Real quick, I did want to touch on a couple things or one big factor. Last night's game, Monday Night Football. It's not on my list to talk about today, but I want to talk about it anyway because of how bad that game was. Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, pathetic. But the real question is not really coming out of Dallas, because we know they suck. The real question, Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback for Arizona Cardinals. Am I right or wrong? I mean, am I right or wrong in that? He was efficient, dude. He was efficient. He made Marvin Harrison Jr. look like senior. That's how good he was last night. And let's be real. They were 2-5, but a lot of those games that they've lost, they can easily be 5-2. You go back and look at the Titans game. DeMarcado fumbles the ball going into the end zone. That's a win. That's a win. And probably you could pencil in another game that was probably lost in the waning moments of the game. Arizona's got some dudes, man, especially on the defensive side. Like, we forget because it's Arizona, right? You think of Kyler Murray. So the bigger question to me, and to me, it's not really a question. If I'm the GM or if I'm the coach, I'm sticking with Brissett. And I'm going to put Kyler Murray on the bench and I'm cutting him because you're not going to find anyone to trade with because of the contract. And he's really not that good. He's really not that good. I think the story has been written on him. It's one thing if he's like a year 2, maybe year 3, but the guy's been in the league quite some time, man. And you can't continue to say, oh, he's got potential, man. He's got potential. 5, 6, 7 years in the league, man. Like, you are what you are at this point. That's how I feel. Now, you may be able to go somewhere else and resurrect your career, but as far as what he is, that's it. So the Cardinals, yeah, you got to ride it out right now. But I'm saying after the season, it's time to let that dude go, man. You've already kicked the tires on that a couple times, and I'm not saying Brissett is the answer, but you got some pieces. And as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned, I know they made some trades today, which is laughable. I mean, they went out and get what's the linebacker Wilson from Cincinnati. I mean, anything's better than the linebacking core that they have now. I mean, Kenneth Murray sucks ass. He sucks. The other white boy that I didn't even see him. I hope he's hurt because he sucked too. And bringing another guy. I mean, listen, from top to bottom, his defense is horrible. Then they try to bring in Quentin Williams, or not try. They did. The biggest thing I was happy for this trade today, you got rid of Mozzie Smith. Not a fan of Mozzie Smith. He was horrible. And to be fair, it's not like they haven't tried to address the position defensive tackle. They just haven't gotten it right. And hopefully they think Williams can come in. He's a, Pro Bowler. But at the end of the day, man, everyone knows this. And I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. You got to understand this. Jerry Jones doesn't give a shit about football anymore. He doesn't. He walks into Cowboy Stadium looking for any camera, any microphone, and people are willing to be like, hey, put that microphone in front of that dude because he's gold. He's gold. What GM or owner is going to be talking to people before the game? Like, yeah, man, I got some trades brewing. He can't because he writes the checks. So I'll say it again. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Cowboys are laughable. It's funny that they're still valued as much as they're valued only because of the brand. But as far as winning, this is not a good franchise. It really isn't. So I'm not surprised Cardinals came in there and beat them. I mean, listen, Dak Prescott did not play a good game last night. Offense did not look good. The turnovers, the route running wasn't there. The focus. This offense got to score 30 every game in order for them to win. And if they only mustered 10, because defense ain't stopping nobody. I knew that game was over when Cowboys' first drive of the game, they get stalled out in the red zone. They go for it on fourth. They get stalled out. Arizona gets the ball. I think they go like 9 minutes and march down the field and get a field goal. And literally, I think they converted like 4 or 5 third down conversions, man. And that tells you all you need to know about a defense. You cannot get off the field on third down. You are a terrible defense. And then Deron Bland, who I liked, they paid him like $96 million, getting cooked. Barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. So, Cowboys, Cowboy Nation, please fill me in. Am I missing something? Is there any other moves out? Obviously, the trade deadline thing came and passed, but do you think the moves that they made today are going to help them? Honestly, I personally think that no, it's not. This defense is still horrible. You still got the same defensive coordinator. It doesn't matter. So it is what it is. All right. Ben says in regards to Jacoby Brissett, he says Jacoby was good against a bad defense. Will channel his Ryan Fitzpatrick every once in a while. You can't count on him to be good QB for 17. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a backup for sure. But he is slinging that ball better than Kyler Murray. I will say that. Wouldn't be so Jets like to trade their first round picks they got today to land? I know, right? That would be interesting, right? He's saying that they trade and get Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is, again, I'm not a big Kyler Murray guy. I don't think he's really bought into football. He's talented. He likes what it can do for him, but he's not a grinder. He'd rather play Call of Duty or Battleground. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. in my opinion. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So, all right, man. It wouldn't be NFL matchups. Oh, so Ben's got to say. Oh, he said that already. It wouldn't be NFL matchups if I don't break down each and every game and give you some keys to victory here. So let's get them up. So if you're watching on TikTok, man, appreciate you guys shouting me out, man. Drop some comments too as well. Also, if you want to hit me up on YouTube at Clutch Sports Talk Podcast, I'm streaming live there as well if you want the beautiful aesthetics. So I'm multitasking as we speak here. So, all right. All right, let's go. Raiders and Broncos Thursday night football. Denver open up at 9.5 favorites. Over under, I believe, is 42.5. The game is in Denver, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, listen, Raiders are a dumpster fire. But as far as keys to victory are concerned, for the Raiders, you're gonna have to find a way to protect Geno Smith against this front seven. Simple as that. This defense is going to eat him for lunch. Okay. If you can't do that, game's over. Keys to victory for the Broncos. Listen, it's pretty simple. Get Bo Nix rolling. You got a pretty good offensive prowess there. You got some weapons over there. Defense is going to lock that Raiders offense in, so you should be pretty much good to go. Just don't turn the ball or do anything stupid, and you should be good to go. Do I like Denver to cover? Absolutely. I'll take the 9.5 on this one on Thursday Night Football. Short week for the Raiders too. They have to travel. I mean, short week for both teams. But Broncos coming off a come from behind win. Now, wouldn't be surprised if the game was a little close because it is a divisional game. But I do like the Broncos to cover in this short week. Over under as far as concerned, I'm probably more inclined if I was going to bet the over-under, probably take the under. A lot of these Thursday night games, I feel like the teams are not fully rested and maybe the game plan isn't all implemented correctly or it has time to marinate. So they probably don't come out a lot and score in bunches. And the Broncos are a really good defensive team and the Raiders just don't put up enough offense. So I can kind of see the under on the 42.5. Me personally, I like overs. Because I'd be sweating bullets a lot of times when I pick the unders. But if I was looking at an over-under game this week, this would probably be one of them. All right. But I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this game. But I like the -9.5 on this one. All right. We got a game in Germany, in Berlin. Falcons versus Colts. Indianapolis coming off of pretty much an ass whooping in Pittsburgh. But they open up at 6.5. Over-under is 48.5. Keys to victory for the Colts is simple, man. Jonathan Taylor, don't turn the ball over. That's it. Pretty simple, nice and tidy. Falcons, I don't know, man. This team had a lot of pizzazz in the offseason. You know, the what they were able to do. Penix had a pretty good season last year, and they're just inconsistent, man. They're just inconsistent. Drake London, I think, is a star or a budding star, but Bijan Robinson too. Like, I don't know what it is with this team. I think coaching is probably holding them back. But in regards to this game, they're gonna have to keep the ball away from the Colts. I will say that. You know the Colts are gonna get up for this game. You're gonna get up for this one now because they have extra motivation. The way they got dominated by Pittsburgh, it's probably not a good thing for the Falcons. I like the Colts to win this game. I'll probably take them on the money line. I'm not sure if they'll cover because I do think though the Falcons do have the offense to keep pace. But I'll take Indianapolis in the money line on this one, and as well, I would probably look at the over on this one as well too. All right, Saints and Panthers, NFC South Division clash here. Carolina, big win on the road in Lambeau. They open up at 5.5 against the Saints. Saints got their ass whooped too by the Rams. I mean, that game wasn't even close. Over under 39.5. This is a very low total. Not the lowest though, but very low. Saints, I don't know, man. I kind of say with them every week, man. They're just gonna have to find a way to win as far as not turning the ball over and making plays. As simple as that. Like they had a couple turnovers this past weekend against the Rams, a really good team. Panthers defense is pretty solid. I will give them credit. They are pretty good. That's a pretty good unit. But if they have any chance of winning, they're gonna have to keep Rico Dowdle in check. Simple as that. If he gets going, he's running wild, game's over because then Bryce Young can complete easy passes up and down the field to his wide receivers. Keys to victory for the Panthers. Let's get after the quarterback, whether it's Rattler or Shuck or Schlo, whatever the fucking name is. Get after him. Get after him, which they should be able to do. Shouldn't be no problem. I do like the Panthers to cover this game at 5.5. So you can mock that. You can take that to the bank. All right, Giants and Bears. Bears open up at -3.5. What a remarkable win. I was talking about this last night on my live on TikTok. Bengals just did not want to win that game. They literally gave it away to the Bears, but nonetheless, they won. Chicago opened up -3.5 against the Giants. Over under is 47.5. Bears, listen, it's pretty simple. You just don't turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over. And if Caleb Williams can do that, their offense is pretty potent. Pretty potent. Don't know what the status is of DeAndre Swift if he's gonna return this week. But as far as the Giants are concerned, you're gonna have to find a way to get after that quarterback. Caleb Williams is very prone to making these outside of the pocket plays where he thinks it's a good idea, but it's an interception or a turnover waiting to happen. So if your best bet is the Giants is to keep the game close, your defense is gonna have to kind of will you or create some more opportunities to win this game. But I do like the Bears. I just don't think the Giants have enough in the tank, honestly. I do like the future for the Giants. I will add that, but I just don't think they have enough in the tank to beat the Bears on the road. So I like the Bears to cover at -3.5 on this one. All right. Jaguars and Texans. This is a close one. We got Houston open up at -1.5. The over-under is 37.5. Vegas does not think neither of these teams will be putting up a lot of points. Don't know what the status is of CJ Stroud. Let me know what you guys think. Is he ready to go? I don't even know what's going on with him. Jaguars did coming off a pretty, I wouldn't say exhilarating win, but a close win against the Raiders here in Las Vegas Sunday, because the Raiders just can't execute. But the one thing going for the Texans, that defense is good. I love Will Anderson. Still one of my favorite young defensive players in the league. If you haven't thrown on the tape of him, man, do so. You're in for a treat. I'm going to go with the Jaguars on the road. This is a close game in a division where these kind of teams, they battle it out a lot. So this is the underdog pick. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars in an upset. Not a big upset because it's only -1.5, but it is an upset in terms of the betting odds. I'm going to go with the Jaguars to win this game. And the only way they're going to do that is just control that clock. Control the clock. And keep that defense on the field as long as possible and tire them out and maybe punch a touchdown or a field goal here or there too. So we'll see how that works. All right. Bills at Dolphins. Dolphins Buffalo -9.5 on the road in Miami. 49.5 is the over under. Bills, listen, great win this past Sunday. This continues to be consistent. Keep doing what you guys are doing. The way that defense played against the Chiefs, keep it up. Keep it up. Bosa, get after Tua. Shouldn't be a problem there. Because apparently Tua doesn't even know how long a football game is. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. He was like, all right, 60 minutes and then 4 hours. It's like, well, which one is it? Are we giving 60 minutes or are we giving 4 hours? I don't know. Let me know. As far as the Dolphins are concerned, like a lot of these teams that are struggling, especially offensively, don't turn the ball over. Try to capitalize it. Execute on the little things, right? Their big playability is pretty much gone. Right, without Tyreek Hill being there, no one's really that much afraid of them. Mike McDaniels has been figured out a little bit. So in that regard, Tua, you can't throw 2-3 interceptions. You probably get away with one. Your defense will try your best, but they got rid of their best edge rusher, one of their best rushers, in Jalen Phillips. They traded him to Philadelphia, so he's gone. He's out in the building. So, but every now and then you're gonna have to try to make a big play. At least one, but your whole offense can't be derivative of just big plays up and down the field. So they're going to have to try to find a way to make a big play here or there, but keep it close. And maybe if you keep it close enough, maybe you have an opportunity in the end. Because the Bills, I will say this, though, as good as they look Sunday, they can look pretty inconsistent, too. You go back to, I forgot what week it was, against the Falcons. It's like, what? Like, how was that the team that beat Kansas City the other day? So very inconsistent. So, but I don't necessarily like the Bills to cover, but I do like them in the money line if I was going to bet this game. All right, Ravens and Vikings. Ravens trying to keep pace, man. They're trying to keep pace here. They're opening up at favorites. Baltimore -3.5 on the road against Minnesota. 48.5 over under. Ravens, just keep Lamar clean, man. Keep running the football. Keep him clean. Limit the mistakes again, and just run that football. And the defense, who's been struggling, hopefully they can get a little bit healthier against a quote-unquote rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, and they should be good to go. As far as the Vikings are concerned, you're going to have to find a way to get after Lamar Jackson and force him into some mistakes, which I think they can do that. I think Brian Flores is very underrated. or I don't think he's underrated anymore. I think he's really good at what he does as far as getting that defense ready to go, because that was a tremendous performance they had against Detroit last week. So I think their game plan is going to have to be the same again. Like, the quarterback is young, is going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have to keep this game close. If they can get after Baltimore, they have a chance. However, though, I do like the Ravens at home to win, or excuse me, on the road. Well, I take that back. I like the Vikings to win this game at home. If this game was in Baltimore, I'd probably be more inclined to say the Baltimore Ravens will win this game, but they're on the road. I like the Vikings to win this game. Probably actually cover as well. All right. Moving right along, we got Browns at Jets. Cleveland open up at -2.5 on the road. 37.5 is the over under. That's going to be, I think that might be a lock. Over under on that game. Browns defense is good. Browns defense is phenomenal. So, and the Jets offense is pretty anemic. So I would say that's probably why this game is so low. But Browns don't have to score a lot. Couple field goals, maybe a touchdown here or there might just do the trick. So I do like that. Jets, I don't know, man. Just if it's Justin Fields, which I think it is, he's just gonna have to be a playmaker back there and just run around, make a play here or there. But that's not really a real good key to victory. So therefore, I like the Browns to win this game on the road and beat the Jets and probably cover at -2.5 on this one. But I definitely would take the under on this game, I think. All right, Patriots at the Buccaneers. This is a very good matchup. A lot of love is being thrown at the feet of the New England Patriots. My personal opinion, they haven't really played a lot of good teams yet, right? Their best team, their best game was against the Bills. Everybody else has just been, it's been a lot of Tuas, a lot of Tennessee Titans, things of that nature, really teams that are not that good. But anyway, Tampa is open up at 2.5 at home. They're the favorites, which they should be. 48.5 is the over under. If you're the Buccaneers defense, you're going to have to lay the wood down on Drake May. Baker Mayfield, solid season. Obviously they're bothered by a lot of injuries at this point, right? The wide receiving core, Emeka Egbuka should be good to go. Right, he had the bye week. Obviously, we know Mike Evans is pretty much done for a while. Chris Godwin, not sure what his status is. Bucky Irving, they get Bucky Irving back. That'll help them out. But Baker does find ways to win at home a lot. This should be a very good game. Drake May will have the opportunity, though, to test that secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If the Patriots win this game, I will say this, I will become a believer a little bit more, because these are good. These are games that are good barometers. Not playing the Titans, not playing the dregs of the league. These are the types of games that make you look at them and say, all right, win or lose, it depends on how they look. They actually got a shot. But I do like the Buccaneers to win this close. It's going to be a close one. It's going to boil down to one of those games where wherever has the ball last is going to win this game. And that's what I'm looking at for this one. So I'll take the Buccaneers in this one. All right, Cardinals and Seahawks. Interesting one. We all saw what the Cardinals did last night to the Cowboys on Monday night, and we all saw what the Seahawks did to the Washington Commanders on Sunday night. Seattle is opened up at favorite at -6.5. Over under is 45.5. Seahawks is pretty simple, man. That defense, that front seven, get after it. If it's Jacoby Brissett, who I anticipated it probably should be, I can't foresee them going back to Kyler Murray. I don't get it. But if Brissett is the quarterback, this plays right into the hands of the Mike McDonald's defense. They get after him. And guys like Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams has been in the league like 50 million years, and he's still getting after it like it's day one. Tremendous pickup by them. And they got some other good guys. And then their secondary is so versatile, and they're so deep back there, man. So they're one of those dark horse teams. As far as keys to victory, for them, again, like it's going to be on the defense. And Sam Darnold is playing his lights out right now. JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, wow. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just wow. But he's looking pretty good. As far as the Cardinals are concerned, limit explosive plays from that Seattle offense. Jacoby Brissett continue to play really smart football, solid football. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. are starting to establish a rapport, which I think is beneficial, because now that'll help free up Trey McBride. Trey McBride is probably their number one target there. But if you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. going good, that'll be really beneficial for this offense. However, though, I think it's still a tall order for the Cardinals to win this game. So I'm going to go with Seattle to win this game and cover at 6.5. All right, Lions and Commanders on paper. This looked like this should have been a good game, but no Jayden Daniels. He's out. Lions coming off a pretty bad loss at I would say at home. They open up at minus 8.5 on the road, over under 49.5. Lions just get after this weak defense for the Commanders. Defense is not good at all. We all saw Sunday night what you can do if you put your mind to it. So take care of that. Commanders force some turnovers, help Marcus Mariota, get him some extra possessions, and maybe you keep it close, but I like the Lions in a landslide. I like them to cover in this one. I'm taking the Lions here. All right, NFC West battle, Rams versus 49ers in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Rams open up at 3.5 favorite, 49.5 over under. Rams is pretty simple, man. Continue to control the trenches, which they should be able to do. Really solid win against a pretty bad team last week at home and the Saints. So continue to do that. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, keep that relationship open with Matthew Stafford. You're pretty good. You know your defense is going to be pretty locked in there. So I like their chances in there. 49ers, I mean, they beat them a couple weeks ago. I believe it was Thursday Night Football. So these teams know each other very well. Shanahan does have McVay's number. The line, I would probably sway plus 3.5 on this one, just because the 49ers, although the injuries are starting to take a toll, I believe one of their defensive linemen, Michael Williams, he's out for the year. They still find ways to win, and they have pretty good odds against the Rams. So I'm going to take the 49ers plus 3.5 in this game. I think I think they can lose. I think they can lose, and I think it'll be a close game. So that's why I'm going with the plus side on that one as well. All right, 2 more games, and then we're out of here. We got Steelers at the Chargers for Sunday Night Football. Chargers -3, favorites 45.5 over under there. It's simple for the Steelers, man. Defense. If that defense, one of the most highly paid defenses in the National Football League, if they can play the way that they played against the Colts, this is going to be a good game. And they can end up winning this game. Aaron Rodgers is not putting together a bad season. I mean, granted, right? But they're not blowing the doors off people either. I know they got DK Metcalf. I thought they might have gone and trying to go make a move for somebody else in via trade. They didn't. But if that defense can put on the performance they did against the Colts, Chargers are going to be in trouble. They're going to be in trouble. So that's that. Keys to victory for the Chargers. Listen, Justin Herbert, continue doing what you're doing. Get outside the pocket a little bit, but make the throws on time. You cannot hold on to the ball against TJ Watt and the rest of this defense. And you're going to have to win the turnover margin. So that's going to be key. Whoever wins the turnover margin in this game will win the game. I'm going to go with the Steelers in an upset here. I'm going to go with the Steelers in an upset on this one. I know my boy Bryson Carver from the Carving Up Podcast, he's probably going to be juiced up for that one. But I do like the Steelers in an upset to win that game in LA at SoFi against the Chargers. All right. Final matchup before I get up out of here, because I am losing my voice. We got Eagles and Packers, Monday Night Football. Pretty good matchup. Probably a potential playoff matchup down the line here. Green Bay opening up at 2.5 favorites at home. Over unders 44.5. Eagles, keys to victory. Saquon Barkley needs to touch this ball and get a healthy dose of attempts. Simple as that. Simple as that. Then you can get the passing game going. That's where they're going to have to hang their hat on, I'm going to say. And damn it, Chris, you and your damn birds. All right, but Eagles, as far as the wide receiver room there, I mean, listen, they're talented. They're there. Those guys will be there. I don't think that's the issue. I know it is an issue because some people say AJ Brown should probably get more touches, but they're there. And I didn't foresee them trading AJ Brown because I'm not in the business of trading away good talent. As simple as that. I don't really see that. So, but again, you want to be more efficient, run the football, which, it's going to be tough because the Packers have a really formidable defense. As far as the Packers are concerned, no more Tucker Kraft. He's out for the year. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, those guys are going to have to be good guys. They're going to have to find Josh Jacobs got to get the ball running again, man. Like, they're going to have to figure out a way to get him going and take some of the pressure off Jordan Love, because I feel like when the pressure is on Jordan Love, he starts to fold and he's inconsistent. When there isn't any pressure, then he's like, oh my God, like this is the guy, right? But in the end, I like the Eagles to win this game. I don't know why per se. I think they're just the better team overall. I trust Jalen Hurts more than I do Jordan Love at this point, and that's pretty much it. That's probably why I'm going to roll with them on that. So I do like the Eagles to win this game. If you're going to bet an underdog, this is probably the one you want to bet because the Eagles can beat the Packers. I mean, we know that. So, all right, there you have it. All 14 games in the National Football League, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man, and commenting. If you're on TikTok, man, appreciate you guys for stopping by. I'll probably go live a little bit later, but if you haven't already, hop on over to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Clutch Sports Talk Podcast, as well as check me out on the Grid Network, as well as Instagram at clutch.sports.talk. I'll be there as well, too. But as usual, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in. My boy Chris and those damn Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's what he would say. So appreciate him for stopping by as well as Ben as commenting too. So I will be back probably again next week, Tuesday. So you guys can tune in or check me out as well on TikTok, Instagram. I'll be posting live and content there as well. So other than that, see you guys later, man. Until next week, this is your boy Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk. And like I always say, never settle until the work is done. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go.